You guys know Final Fantasy, right? I don't have to explain Final Fantasy to you guys. Awesome game series, and I'm a really big fan. Scratch that, I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan, I'm an Ivalice fan, yeah! But Bird, I hear you ignorant little rascal, ask from the back line. What even is this Ivalice Alliance? And let me tell you, uninformed little creatures, the Ivalice Alliance is the umbrella term used originally by Akitoshi Kawazu to identify all the Square Enix games set in the awesome world of Ivalice. And these include the Final Fantasy Tactics series, Final Fantasy XII series, Vagrant Stories, and also Crystal Defenders, but no, the game doesn't, nobody gives a shit. Backstory time. In the 4th year of 1997, designer Yasumi Matsuno created the world of Ivalice as a medieval-style setting with its own identity in which Final Fantasy Tactics would take place. But then, Akitoshi Kawazu, executive producer of both Final Fantasy XII and the aforementioned Crystal Defender saga, was like, hey, pretty cool setting. Can I have it, please? And Matsuno was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And thus, the Alliance was born. And boy, did they go hard with designing this world! Do they have Cool Racer? Yeah, duh. Sex, Bangas, Vieras, Elgas, Garifs, Refs, and they all have their own lore and lifestyle which you can see throughout the games. And how about the actual world itself, the design and the architecture? Oh yeah! And how about the art style? Oh boy, I was waiting for this one. We're talking about the art. Okay, this is what the video is actually about. The one person who single-handedly carried the whole series, in my opinion, Akihiko Yoshida. I genuinely think he's the best Final Fantasy illustrator ever. They have such distinct styles and design. When it comes to the Final Fantasy Tactics games and Revenant Wing, they employ this chibi-esque design, which gives their character a mix of cool but also cute at the same time, and I generally cannot put into words how much happiness it brings me. It's generally my favorite pieces from him are from these games. The simpler design and the use of these really bright colors fills my brain with so much serotonin that it's gonna make me pop a blood vessel. Sorry. Okay, but his design for Final Fantasy XII and Vagrant Stories are really good, don't get me wrong. And the more complex and gritty design fit the narrative of those games to a T. But I like pretty colors, so fuck you. So if these few minutes of me rambling didn't convince you to pick up the Ivalice Alliance, hey, do whatever you want, I don't care. Ha! Got you there! You thought the video was over, but it's not. We're talking about characters now. Okay, I lie, we're not talking about characters. We're talking about one specific character, because I really wanted to talk about him. And that character is Vaan. Listen, the one complaint... Okay, one of the complaints when it comes to narratives of Final Fantasy XII, you know, the big boy of the Alliance, is the main character Vaan, saying he is too bland or like a self-insert character that player can identify themselves as like this person that was just a random guy that was thrusted into a huge conflict. That got thrust into a huge conflict. But like, no. Vaan is an extremely optimistic character despite the extremely tragic hand that fate has dealt him. He's indeed a random guy that got thrusted into a war and is just along for the ride, but that's not because he's supposed to represent us as the player, but rather his own person, a little kid that cannot escape the continuous conflict cast upon his land. In all his appearances, he just wants to live his youth and fulfill his dreams of being a sky pirate, but he keeps being swept up in fights that would normally not be any of his business. He's an orphan due to the war, his brother became a soldier and got killed in action, and Vaan kept living his life. Sure, he was a street thief, but he was just a kid and got swept up and had to help fix the awful world he lives in. And this happened thrice! I think Vaan is a very simple character that can maybe have a complex, deeper meaning once you start looking under the surface, but honestly just doesn't deserve all the hates he gets. Nor does he deserve people saying that Balthier or Bosch are the main character of the game and not him. I think they're pretty hot though. Okay, now I'm done. No, I'm serious, just look at the video's bar. It's over.